of the committee to the conduct of a senator who persists in irrelevance or tedious repetition, either of his own arguments or of the argument used by other senators in debate, may direct him to discontinue his speech. So even when you are talking, the Senate President has a right to ask you to discontinue your speech. And then section 66(2) says, if such a senator refuses to resume his or her seat, this is the first time the law book is even referring to her. The President of the Senate, or in the case of chairman of the Committee of the Whole, shall order such a senator whose conduct is grossly disorderly to withdraw immediately from the Senate during the remainder of that day's sitting. The President of the Senate shall order such a senator to withdraw in the event that he views her conduct or his conduct to be disorderly for the remainder of that day's sitting. And the Sergeant at Arms shall act on such orders, or he may receive from the chair in pursuance of this. All the Senate President will do is to order that senator to stop talking. And if that senator persists, then the Senate President will now say, withdraw for the remainder of the day. Please leave the chambers. And then it doesn't even need to call on the Sergeant at Arms. It is the job of the Sergeant at Arms to immediately enforce that order. Now, I want to take us to section 55. I don't want to go down. We'll go through that section 56, 50. Then look at 55. Behavior of senators in the Senate. This one is a general thing. We must read this when given to us. It's like a Bible in the church. It's like a Quran in the mosque. At the entry, or let's say, all senators shall enter. 5-5. All senators, during a sitting, all senators shall enter or leave the Senate with equity. It means that the sanctity of the Senate must be maintained. And please go through it. You'll see between chairs. When the President of the Senate is putting a question, that's section 55(7). No senator may walk out or cross the floor of the Senate. When the question is being put, you are expected to be seated on your seat. Again, that this is our guiding principle. All the things that they are saying outside. Yeah, this book here gives the power to the Senate President to even suspend a senator for at least 14 legislative days without reference to any committee. And that means if we are sitting 3 times in a week, that comes to about 5 weeks without reference to any committee. And that stands. But on that day, you will notice that after we pleaded with her to speak from her seat, and she refused, I think our colleagues rushed to her and attempted to mute her microphone. I did not mute the microphone because, as at that day, we didn't have the capacity for the Senate President to mute the microphone from here because of the new installation we have here. Our colleague went there and tried to mute the microphone to plead with her not to talk. But later on, I sent somebody from here to go and tell her to unmute the microphone so that she can ventilate her grievances. I wanted to hear why she did not know. But when I listened to what Senator Natasha brought, I found that the reason why she did not obey the Senate standing order was because she wanted to position herself where the camera can see her. Instrument placed before the Senate President. Like the moment to press that you want to talk, it gives a signal here. So whether I see you directly, by ways of raising your hand or not, I will see you at the instrument before me. So there is no senator, there is no president, there is no place that you speak from, the camera will not be. So I want to say that we have a motion that distinguished minority leader.
To say that on that day, one of us from our zone rose up here and openly apologized on behalf of our colleague from North Central. In the public domain, the discussions that are definitely not for what we were elected here. And we can avoid this distraction. And like I said, we have committees, and one particular committee is responsible. Mr. President, we see you
to ask for order. As this was not enough, the media told the Senate variously and precariously from that Thursday. And I, as the spokesperson of the Senate, I had to go about try to mend those broken pieces of the images and integrity of the third Senate, which I think should not have happened. And like I said, I reiterated that the Senate is not for skit making, it's not for content creation, whereby we show off before cameras, for the media to take pictures, take shots, snapshots, TikTok, and so on and so forth. And then we exhibit so that we can play the other dog, and then the general public, who might be very oblivious of the guiding rules of the Senate, can poo-poo the Senate. So this brouhaha went on up till today. And I know, because as we are here, some media houses are still even inviting me to come and explain off further what transpired. But, Mr. President, my hunch is not whether the senator can raise any issue within the chamber, because we know we enjoy absolute privilege. But absolute privilege is not absolute disobedience. You know that one. I just want to behold my colleagues that the popular saying that as you lay your bed, so you shall sleep on it. Are we laying this bed very well and decently for us to sleep very well, have very good dreams for Nigeria? We are all here, one many of us, Mr. President and my colleagues, sent to this place by our constituents for 3 major reasons: to make laws for the good governance of Nigeria, to advocate for our constituencies, various ones for that matter, and to do oversight functions of the MDAs. And anything outside this, we look at it as privileges, not only the sitting arrangements in the Senate. And we all subscribe to the leadership of the 10th Senate under Senate President, Senator Maurice Obot Akpabio. And like what I experienced, the whole thing, some people, a section of the public, and I'm narrowing it to Mr. Senate President versus the Senator, which is not so. Because our guiding rules, which is our testament and our catechism, our Bible and our Quran, which we all subscribe to religiously, embodies and epitomizes the whole Senate of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Any action against it is an action against the Senate. It's not an action against the Senate President. Mr. President, sir, we were told when we were growing up as toddlers that where there is no law, there is no sin. Then we have laws. Then it means that any contravention of that law is a sin. And where there is sin, there must be penalty. And where there is penalty, we expect penitence. And going further, it's not about the sitting arrangement only. We are made to believe about to see expletives being raised on the leadership of the Senate on the allocation of committees. Which did we ask? We have been voted for in our consensus as chairmen or committee members. No. We have our primary assignment, secondary and tertiary assignment. These are just auxiliary assignments without submitting a report, which I will still do later. I want to thank my colleagues and the President of the Senate for giving me this opportunity to present to you the happenings in the Senate and outside the Senate in the past 6 days. It's not a substantial motion. I want to make it first.
We don't have any prayer. Okay, you reported to us. Okay, so Senator, give me a break.